Hello, this is the screencast for department chairs to make course recommendations for next year. First thing you will do is log into the SIS. Once you've logged in, click on the right where it says Faculty and then go to On Record. It will probably land you on this screen, but if it doesn't, click on Procedures and then Course Requests. There are 3 steps that you have to follow in order to make recommendations for placements for next year. The first thing you will do is select students. The next thing you will do is select courses and the correct trimester for which you want to make a recommendation. And then when you've got it set up correctly, you will click Apply. So in order to select students, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can select students by grade level, so you need to select the division first, then the grade, and then you can select individual 9th graders, or you can add the entire grade, though I don't think we'll be doing that very often. Alternatively, you can find students who are currently in a certain course. So if I click over here where it says courses, this is keyboard sensitive, so I can type SP and it'll take me to Spanish 1. If I hit return, it'll find all the students that are currently in Spanish 1. I can add the entire roster. If I do that, you'll see over here it says 15 students and they're all here. I cannot, however, add some of them but not others using this Add Entire Roster button. So if I use the Add Entire Roster button, I am really committing to all 15 students who are currently in it. I can remove them just by clicking the X over here. But nonetheless, even if I don't want to add the entire roster, it's probably still helpful for me to see who's currently in Spanish 1 and do I want to recommend them for Spanish 2. I can click on them over here and I can click on as many as I'd like. And you can see they start lining up over here on the right. There's nothing to show that these over here have been selected over here, so you just have to, I guess, make a comparison again, or you can add the entire roster. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to leave Will Aitken selected. You can also, I guess there's a third way, you can also just type in a student's name and find them just by searching on a student's name. So I can see if I just type in Jared, it would find Jared Macklin. I can add him that way. So there's actually 3 different ways where you can find a student to make a recommendation. That's step 1. Step 2, selecting courses. You can see that it defaults to first trimester. This is where all your recommendations for year-long courses will be. We're only making recommendations and placements for courses that require them. So courses like PE, values, 10th grade history, English 10, none of those things will be here. Only courses that require recommendations. Most of the courses you're recommending are going to be found under the first trimester, but there are a few second and third trimester recommendations. You'll see now we've only got a few to choose from. So the math track for explorations, you have to go to each trimester to make that recommendation. Similarly, Band B and Advanced Chorus start in the second trimester, as does portfolio development. And in the third trimester, you'll see the third math course and advanced photography. But most of your recommending will be done in the sign-up period for first trimester of 2014-2015. So let's pretend I'm going to recommend this student for AP English. You do not need to check the Require button. That is something that department chairs are just not responsible for, so you don't check that one. Just recommend, and you'll see now I've got the student I want in the course I want. I can also click on this yellow icon and type in a note. When I've got all the students I want recommended for all the courses, I suppose, that I want, I click Apply, and the recommendation is made. Up here it says successfully saved, so you can see that the recommendation has been made. Once you've made a bunch of recommendations, you may want to print out a report that shows you what recommendations have been made so far. In order to do that, come back over to Faculty. Under Reports, start typing in recommend, and then you'll see the student recommendations report. Right now it's set to last year, and that's probably better for us in terms of just showing you stuff. So if I grabbed, let's say, all the 12th graders and generated the report, you can see what they were recommended for, and you can, just like all other reports in SIS, you can download this report, and you can use this to make sure that you've done everything you think you need to do. But you will want to change it to 2014-2015. Right now, of course, if you do that, you'll get no data. Well, I guess you'll get the one that we did, Will Aitken for AP English. If you find mistakes or you want to make changes, in that case, go back to On Record, come over to where it says Approval and then Course Requests. It should show up to the Recommend Work List. Likely, since you've already made recommendations and you're trying to change them, you need to change the status from needing recommendations to existing recommendations. The default right now is to the correct year and the correct trimester, but just in case, you may need to change it. You can narrow the filter even more by selecting a grade or selecting an advisor if you know it. I'm going to go in and actually change Will Aitken's recommendations because I don't want him to be recommended for AP English, or maybe I want him to take AP French or AP Latin. So I can come in, I can check those, and I can click Save. If there were multiple students, next to, I'll show you under Needing Recommendations, there wouldn't just be a Save button, there would be a Next Student button. So if I were having to do a bunch, I could use the Next Student button, and that might help me work around a little bit more quickly. If you need any help or have any questions, please don't hesitate to come see me.